Mr. Trump and his allies may say that these...
You have been watching a special report on the New York Attorney General's lawsuit against former President Trump.
And we're going to have much more on the lawsuit coming up in just a few minutes. Local 4 News at noon starts right now.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
And right now, Exact Track 4D is monitoring storms that could turn severe. You can see the rain moving into our area as we speak. We are watching for intense winds and also some heavy downpours as we take a look at the downtown Detroit skyline right now, which you can just barely see the RINSEN among the clouds.
Is that the RINSEN there? The only way that we could tell is by the 3 buildings there and the tall peak at the beginning or at the middle, and then of course the spider that crawled across the lens there. But downtown Detroit looking very ominous right now as the clouds are very cloudy and all the rain is going to wash that spider right out.
Yeah, we did see the spider crawling there, which Brandon affectionately calls Webster. But these storms, we know, have the potential to be severe. So what are you seeing right now in radar?
Well, we've had some warnings already through the area, including Wayne County, some pretty intense storms firing right through downtown Detroit. But it was Macomb, St. Clair County with these showers and storms. And now we've got some other ones out there certainly capable of producing a warning. We've got storms moving at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. So this storm cell moving through Birmingham into Berkeley, Southfield, Huntington Woods, all within the next 20 minutes or so. We've got another storm here that we're seeing right in the Washtenaw, Wayne County line here. Again, moving at about 30 miles an hour to the southeast. So this one coming into Canton, Livonia, Redford, all within the next 15 to 20 minutes. Behind this, not a whole lot, but we do have this severe risk, marginal to slight, through the next couple of hours. And we are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 p.m., which means be on the lookout. Warnings mean it's happening now. Watch means we're on the lookout. So still another hour or two of eyes to the skies. We're near 80 degrees. After this line of showers and storms moves through, we're going to push into the middle, maybe upper 80s, and that could prompt a scattered storm or two later in the day as the cold front still needs to come through. So make sure you've got our Forewarn weather app. It's free. Just search WDIV in your app store.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. And we have the breaking news that we are following where New York's Attorney General has just filed a sweeping lawsuit against former President Trump, his 3 eldest children, and the entire Trump organization.
And it's part of her years-long civil investigation into the company's business practices. In the 220-page lawsuit, James claims the former president inflated his personal net worth to attract better loans. James is looking to bar the Trump family from any New York-based company for 5 years. She's also seeking $250 million in penalties. The suit alleges more than 200 instances of fraud over 10 years.
Mr. Trump and the Trump Organization repeatedly and persistently manipulated the value of assets to induce banks to lend money to the Trump Organization on more favorable terms than would otherwise have been available to the company, to pay lower taxes, to satisfy continuing loan agreements, and to induce insurance companies to provide insurance coverage for higher limits and at lower premiums.
The Attorney General also claims that Trump violated several state criminal laws, including falsifying business records and insurance fraud. There's no response yet from Donald Trump or his legal team, but of course we'll keep you posted if and when he does respond.
Our other top story are the cancellation of classes for a second day in a row because of a cyber attack in the South Redford School District.
Yeah, cyber experts told the district it was best to stay closed today, and people are still being told to stay off district-issued technology. Local 4's Sean Lay joins us now from Redford with new information.
Well, good afternoon. Serious questions unanswered here at the South Redford School District, still dealing with a cyber attack emergency that has now closed schools here for the second day in a row. Here's the very latest what we're learning. The district shut down Tuesday and warned staff and students not to use any district computers while they deal with this cyber attack. It's unclear if students and their families' personal information has been compromised. Right now, the district posting to its website at this time, cyber forensic teams are advising the district to remain closed. Student and staff data security continues to be a top priority for the South Redford School District. Cyber forensic teams are diligently working to restore our systems to normal operations. Again, we appreciate the patience and understanding of our community as we navigate this difficult situation. This is a time-intensive process and one that we'll continue to take seriously. At this time, we're still asking people not to use district-issued devices. Now, we also checked with the Department of Homeland Security and their division on cybersecurity. It's telling us in an email cyber attacks targeting schools is something they are keeping a major eye on, a big-time concern. It's asking districts to ensure multi-factor authentication is enabled for all school accounts. We've got the very latest. We'll continue to follow this throughout the day and let you know when schools will reopen here in this district. Sean Lake, Local 4, back to you.
All right, Sean, thank you. 2 people we've learned have died after a massive refinery fire in Toledo.
In fact, neighbors reported the explosion at the BP Husky Toledo refinery in Ohio last night when they saw these big plumes of smoke and heard that explosion. The fire was put out about 3 hours later and the refinery was shut down. It is still offline today. The cause of the explosion is still being investigated. We have a crew on the way and we will have a live update at 5. The experts at Gas Buddy think that the refinery could lead to an increase in gas prices in our area, though. Prices are already going up nationwide. AAA says that prices nationwide are up a penny to $3.68 a gallon. That ends 3 months of drops, and it is the second longest streak on record.
A woman is killed in a crash that shut down part of I-94 in Wayne County overnight. Police say the woman lost control of her car and hit the center median in the eastbound lanes of I-94 right near Woodward in Detroit. The woman was thrown from her car and died. The freeway was shut down but reopened right before the height of the morning rush. Turning to the war in Ukraine now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a major escalation. He says he's going to be mobilizing hundreds of thousands of additional troops and says his threat of nuclear retaliation against the West is, quote, not a bluff. Aaron McLaughlin is in Ukraine now with new concerns.
Today, Russian President Vladimir Putin announcing a partial mobilization of some 300,000 reservists to join the front lines here in Ukraine. It's a move that's being seen by Ukrainian and U.S. officials as an act of desperation. One Ukrainian official tells me that Ukrainians are estimating that Putin has lost 100,000 troops in this war, whether that be killed, injured, or deserted, and that he needs to replenish the front lines in order to continue with the offensive. Now, also in his address this morning, he announced that he was backing the annexation of Russian-occupied areas in Ukraine. If that happens, Ukrainian officials see that as potentially a new phase in this war. Constitutionally, he would be obligated to defend those areas as part of Russia, hinting in President Putin's address at the nuclear option, although Ukrainian officials view that as a scare tactic. They're trying to scare off the West from its support in Ukraine, and Ukrainian officials tell me they do not believe that is going to work, adding that they expect to see the impact of this mobilization on the battlefield in the coming months. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News, Kharkiv, Ukraine.
Aaron, thank you. President Biden just spoke out against Russia's attack on Ukraine.
Yeah, he addressed the UN General Assembly condemning the war as it now nears its 7th month.
Russia has shamelessly violated the core tenets of the United Nations Charter. No more important than the clear prohibition against countries taking the territory of their neighbor by force. Again, just today, President Putin has made overt nuclear threats against Europe and a reckless disregard for the responsibilities of the non-proliferation regime.
President Biden is calling on the world to stand against what he calls Russia's naked aggression, and we will have more from his speech on Local 4 News at 4 and 5.
Well, it was a grand opening this morning for Detroit's newest high-rise.
Yeah, Huntington National Bank celebrated the opening of Huntington Tower. It's on Woodward in the heart of District Detroit. It's a 21-story building featuring private offices, flexible workspaces, a cafe, and a rooftop terrace. Don't we love those?
Right.
A bank branch will open in October. It's Detroit's newest office building development in the area in more than 30 years. So a big thanks to Huntington for the huge investment they're making in the city of Detroit.
And can we talk about that view that we just saw there of America Park?
Very nice.
Wow. The rooftop
Maybe we
terrace is very
should
popular.
make sure that we check out our new bank branch.
Absolutely.
There in the
we
Huntington
need
Bank
to
offices.
socialize with them and make sure that we're doing business with
Let's
them.
make plenty of friends.
Yes, we'll see you at the rooftop very soon. Listen, still ahead, the winners of this summer's $1 billion Mega Millions jackpot have finally come forward.
Wow, what we know about the winners and their plans for that massive jackpot.
But first, Hurricane Fiona is growing as it moves towards another island, leaving major destruction in its wake. We're going to have a report from Puerto Rico next. Brandon?
It's the last day of summer. Mother Nature knows exactly what's going on. Forewarn weather. We have exact track 4D radar on, and we are seeing a new warning up here in Sanilac County. As we look closer at this storm, possibility of some hail as big as a quarter. Winds that could be 50 to 60 miles an hour. We'll continue to track your afternoon severe threats right here next.